back. So to kind of wrap the storage up for now, what we need to do is kind of figure out how we can save new jokes to our storage, right? So let's jump back to the code and have a look at what we can do. We're jumping back to the joke service, and just like we're getting jokes, I also want a function that can kind of store the current jokes or just set jokes inside our storage, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new function that's going to be called set jokes. Now the set jokes is actually going to send in a list of jokes. So I'm going to say jokes from the outside, and that's going to be a joke array that people can pass in to set a list of jokes. We can also return an observable right here just to do kind of the same thing. So when it's actually set, we'll get a response back that now we set the jokes. Now to do that, again, I'm going to use the same command right here. I'm going to call the create of an observable. I'm going to do the exact same thing right here as well, just returning the jokes right here. Now, for now, we're just returning the actual jokes we're sending in, and that'll be fine for now. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to, again, use the storage to kind of set the jokes, just like we're doing right here, right? We're setting the jokes, but we're going to set this list of jokes now. So we'll say this to storage. To kind of get the storage, we're going to set, and we're going to send in the key of jokes again. There we go, and then we're going to do comma, and we're going to pass in the jokes that people send in as a parameter to our set jokes right here. So we're going to say the jokes right here, and we're going to say then, just like we did before, and then we're going to say when we actually stored the jokes, then I'll just call them stored jokes. They are actually stored now. Then what do I want to do? Well, then I actually want to send the stored jokes just to kind of return the actual jokes that are stored inside the database. So that should be it. Now we're actually storing the jokes, and when we're done, we'll get a reply back saying now it's stored. It seems that we got too many curly brackets right there. There we go. So now what do we need to do? Well, we need to use this new one to actually, when we are creating a new joke, we want to kind of get the jokes, push the new joke just like we're doing here, and then store the joke, and then we're done. So again, we're going to do the same thing that we're doing here by starting by calling the function locally, the getJokes function right here, to get a joke. So we'll get the joke, and we'll say subscribe on that. And inside that subscribe, we're going to say we're going to get a list of jokes back, I hope, and we're going to use that list of jokes for something, right? So now we have the jokes from the database right here. I can also call them jokes DB to kind of show you that these are the jokes from the local storage of the phone. Now we're going to use that set of jokes to kind of push the new jokes. So we're going to say here, instead of the local jokes that we did before, I'll say joke from the database, jokes, joke DB right here, push the new joke, right? So now we've added to the local storage joke database, we've added a new joke. And the last thing I kind of want to do is I want to now do another call to actually set all jokes, like I'm doing right here, to the new list of jokes. So I will just say, instead of getting jokes locally, I'll set jokes locally. And in here, I'm going to pass in the joke DB that I just pushed this guy to. I will subscribe, just like I'm doing right here. And then I'll actually just end up like this. Oh, let me show you something cool here. If I don't care what it's returning, and I don't care right now, I can just put in parentheses like this, and put in the curly brackets like this, and then I'll actually go in here and say I'm done. So let me just return the joke I just created. Whew! Right? That's a lot of stuff going on right here. Try and read the code. But again, we're pretty much just creating an observable that we can use for actually creating jokes. And notice, even though I made a lot of changes right here, I don't have to make a single change inside the guide, the homepage that's actually using this create joke. Because the joke service didn't change, not this guy. What changed was actually how we get that data stored in the database. So just like when you're going to work with a REST API or a Firebase client or anything like that, you only have to change stuff down here, and the rest of the system won't care how you do it. It's just saving it somewhere, and the home TS doesn't care. Now that's very powerful. Let's see if it works, because that's also important, right? Jumping back to my application, it runs at least. So let's just add a joke and try and create and see if it actually stored in the database. And there we go, it saved it in the database. Hooray! And we can actually uniquely go and get these different ones right now. And one thing you'll notice is these guys shouldn't be single text lines like they're right now. They should be text fields, but it doesn't matter, that's UI stuff. But you'll actually notice that if I refresh the application now, and I go and get the jokes again, it should pop up again because it's actually stored in the database now. Oh, there it was. Did you see it? There it was. Oh man! Even though I refresh, now it's actually stored inside the phone's database. It is running, yay! So see you in the next lesson where we'll have even more fun.